Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's a debrief show from West Ham United 0, Bournemouth 0. A lot of chat around Jarrod Bowen since full time yesterday. A lot of criticism. Some people slagging him off. A lot of people defending Jarrod Bowen. It's been quite controversial. There's been a lot of discussion around him. So I thought we could talk about that today. But I just want to stress this show is your show. This show is the subscribers' show. I'll do as much talking as I can. I think it would be a bit boring, and I've received feedback in the past, and it is feedback, but it can be a bit boring if I just sit and click on comments. But, 70% of the show will be made up of me reading out what subscribers are saying. So you don't have to discuss Jarrod Bowen. If you're joining me live, get your thoughts into live chat, and it can be about anything to do with West Ham. It could be about the game yesterday, it could be about Jarrod Bowen, it could be about the centre-backs, it could be about the goalkeeper, it could be about squad depth. I had a moan yesterday about the lack of squad depth. I've been discussing it with subscribers and the comments of the review yesterday as well. It doesn't have to be about Bowen. The title and thumbnail is currently Bowen because I need something to put up. So please get involved in the live chat and let's see what you're all saying. So thank you very much for joining me. You're watching us later on Sunday. Get involved in the comments down below. Ryan saying, I think the captaincy is having a massive toll on him. And that's probably weighing down his performances. I can see Bowen trying. He tries really hard, but the last few months he hasn't been himself, and he's disappointed after yesterday. It feels like a good point gain, but it does feel like a missed opportunity and 2 points dropped. Cavio is saying that Bowen doesn't seem to be linking well with Tati yet. Most of Tati's good link-up play feels like it has been down the left-hand side. Even Bowen's goal against Chelsea was across to Pablo, not Tati. Corky's saying, I thought the boys gave everything yesterday. Defence is looking a lot more settled and organised. Just two form teams cancelling each other out. Bournemouth's off-ball work rate was superb. I think that's a very, very fair one. And he goes on to say that it comes down to the Nottingham Forest result today. If they win, I think it will be too much of an uphill task. Terry saying it's annoyed him yesterday, saying we should have, would have, could have got a goal. Fair enough, but I think that's just people discussing the game. I think if people didn't say that, I'll defend people saying stuff like that. I haven't said it myself, but I have to some extent. I just think it's people. If you don't discuss that, then that means you won't discuss the game, really. Barry saying Bowen getting too greedy, wants to be the hero, losing the ball too many times now. Somerville doing business. I feel it's upsetting him. Chris reckons he's just burnt out. Some players slow quicker than others. I expect his prime peaked earlier than other players. Brian thinks Bowen has lost some pace, but also needs a number 10 playing up there with him, as this takes players away from him. As teams are doubling up on him, he seems to be getting like Kudus. I think he's a little bit slower. Bowen. I think he wasn't good yesterday. The thing is, off the ball, I think Bowen was superb. I think off the ball yesterday, Bowen was really, really good. His tackling was brilliant. His tracking back was really good. But you don't want him to do that. You don't want to judge Bowen on what he does without the ball. You want to judge him on what he does on it, because he should be one of our best players. I think when everyone's on form and at the top of their game, I think he is our best player. Not this season. I think that's been Fernandes. Not in the last month, that's been Somerville. But on the ball, he's not been good enough. And I think he's actually had a couple of good games recently. Sunderland, I remember being impressed by Jarrod Bowen against Sunderland off the top of my head. But yesterday, he lost the ball a lot. I think his corners were on the money. But again, we're talking about set pieces rather than open play. And I just feel he's a bit slower than he used to be. Too many times yesterday. Too many times. I just feel a couple of years ago, Bowen would have done better. A couple of years ago, Bowen would have taken that player on. He would have got his shot away. And I just feel like he's a little bit slower. And I think it's just catching up on him. But the reality is, he's been here 6 years now. January 2020, we signed him. So he's been here 6 years. He's played football pretty much non-stop. We had that COVID tournament. Then we had that season. Got European football. And we've had 3 really long European campaigns as well. Semi-final, won it. What did Leverkusen put us out in? Was it the quarter-final Leverkusen put us out? 3 really long European tournaments. He's been in the England squad quite a lot as well. So he's barely had a rest in 6 years. And he's been bloody, not only really good, like elite level performances, really consistent. This is his first sort of dip in form. And it's the worst time for him to have a dip in form because we're in a relegation battle. But I just find it hard. I think we can criticise his performances. That's fair. That's allowed. That's normal. But he's got so much credit in the bank, and I've got a lot of sympathy for him. And I think there would be a conversation around maybe dropping him for a game. The issue is there isn't anyone to replace him, in my opinion. And I think we've been trying to play him through the bad form, and we get some good games out of him, and then it sort of dips again. But I think it's definitely, a topic worth discussing, and a lot of people have been discussing it in the last 24 hours or so. Steve saying, I think Bowen may have lost half a yard in pace, but not enough to explain his lack of recent goal scoring form. Maybe it's just that loss of form, but I think will return. I mean, he's still got 8 goals in the league, isn't he, this season, Bowen? He's still got 11, I think it's 11 goals and assists. So his returns are still quite good in terms of just looking at it black and white. I think his goals are still fine, but it just doesn't feel like he's carrying the same influence as he does in a match. Simon saying, but our midfield looked fatigued again in the second half, not helped by limited bench options, unlike Bournemouth. Overall, an impressive performance, clean sheet, but toothless in attack. Bowen, poor. Leon saying, maybe the rise of Somerville has taken a shine of Jarrod. Someone taking the limelight has that effect. I'm not so sure, Leon, because when Lingard was here, and he was unbelievable for that few months on loan, I still feel like Bowen's performances were just as good. So maybe, I can't say you're wrong. I don't know. But I disagree. Kerry saying that point yesterday was not enough. I'm losing hope that we will stay up. There's not enough games left. Mick saying he's played every game this year, bar one FA Cup match. Went away with England, so no real break during international windows. So have a guess. I'd say he's knackered and needs a rest. I agree. I was hoping that week off against Burton would have helped him a little bit. I don't think it did. But I just feel like he's just not as quick. Jake saying he thinks Bowen's carrying a knot. It's possible. He has done that before. He has played through injuries. Cruz is saying Bowen can't dribble past 3 players all the time. Again, he's not wrong. He does get crowded out. And DW is saying it's not just Bowen. It's a lot of wingers in the Premier League. Sid also suggesting maybe he's just carrying a knock. Harry saying I'm the same as you. Enjoying it. Think we're playing well, but these draws aren't enough. Even though they're good in isolation, feel like we will run out of road. Rudy's saying, I think Bowen is trying too hard. Maybe the criticism about his leadership is playing on his mind. He's definitely aware of it, because when he scored, it was a home game. It wasn't that long ago. And he started pointing at the captain's armband. And I feel like it was his response to criticism or question marks over him being the captain. So I think he's aware of the conversations around his leadership. So I think there's merit to what you're suggesting, Alan. Steve saying the bench is so weak, and Traore, what the hell? He's crap. Why do Nuno want him so much? It's like Toya used to sing. It's a mystery. Paul saying Disasi missing that early chance feels like a real sliding doors moment for me. Matt saying Bowen has done a lot wrong recently. Holds onto the ball too long. Keeps firing the ball into the player shadowing him. Easy to rob him of it. Seiji thinks with Bowen could be confidence along with putting pressure on himself to get us out of this. And it's almost making him try too hard again. There might be an element of that. Ian saying it's all over his father-in-law buying a caravan park. Do you know something? Mrs. Gio's been really looking forward to that series. The series comes out on Tuesday. I've seen the adverts for it now, but Mrs. Gio likes the podcasts with the 2 Danny Dyers. And she was telling me that they bought a caravan park and that there's a documentary coming out about it, and she's really looking forward to it. And to be fair, I quite like Danny Dyer. I think he's a good laugh. So I enjoyed Jeremy Clarkson's Farm series on Amazon Prime, and the John Mitchelson pub one on Channel 4, the 4-player. It's not as good, but it's okay. So I've got high hopes for the Danny Dyer thing. So I'll be honest with you, Ian, I'm going to be tuning into that at some point over the next week or something. I'll start watching it. But Mrs. Gio's very excited to watch it. She's a big fan of the 2 Dyers. Listen to our podcasts all the time. Chris, thank you very much. Very kind of you. Chris has kindly donated £5 super chat in the live chat saying, grab yourself some cider. Do you know what? I'll tell you why. It's sunny. The sun is out for the first time like this year. It feels like this is the first time this year I've seen the sun. It's out shining on the back garden. It's coming in through the windows in the back of the house. The house is naturally a bit warmer because of the sun being out. It's got me in a really good mood this morning. I woke up, drew the curtains, got dressed. I thought this feels like a good day. So once I finish this, we're going to take Grace down the park because it's a bit sun. We normally take her to the park on a Sunday anyway, but it's like a zip yourself up and get yourself in the trike and put a blanket on you. But today we might not need the blanket. Hopefully it'll be a bit cozy. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to finishing work and getting down the park with a little one. Nick saying, I think you nailed the Bowen issue in your post-match review. Time is just catching up with him. Maybe he's at an age where position change is required. The thing is, I think we're asking more of him. I think at the start of the video, I spoke about what he's doing out of possession. I think he's been absolutely fantastic out of possession. But there are one or two games against Manchester United. I felt like Bowen was practically a right wing back. He's got so much to do going backwards, so much. And I feel like when we had David Moyes at the helm, I feel like there was almost like the left-hand side, I think, was sacrificed for Jarrod Bowen. I feel like Fornals, Ben Rama, I think they had to do a little bit more defensive work than Bowen did. And it's not like he didn't do any, but I feel like the midfield covered for him if required to try and keep Bowen high up the pitch and keep him close to Antonio at times. Whereas under Nuno, I don't think that's the case. I think it's you need to get back and defend. And it's the same for Somerville. You need to get back and defend. I think both of them get back and they really do the defensive work. There was times yesterday I was really impressed with Somerville's tracking of Jimenez. And I feel like under Moyes, Bowen did the work rate, but I think he was a little bit quicker. But under Nuno, I've seen him next to Wan-Bissaka on occasions. Against Chelsea, I did my Team United football video against Chelsea about the tactics in the second half. And Bowen was practically in line with the defence for the entire second half. So when we win the ball back, he's got so much ground to make up. If Somerville gets it and goes, A, he's not as quick, and B, there's so much ground to make up to get up the pitch. So I think he's just, he's got a lot of defensive duties under Nuno, and I think he's excellent at that. That's why I have a bit of sympathy for him. Was he good yesterday? On the ball, no, but off the ball, I thought he was flawless. I think Truffert was getting forward and trying to get crosses in, but I thought Bowen was really stopping him. And Truffert is a really good attacking left back, in my opinion. But Bowen nullified him. It's just that Truffert nullified Bowen going the other way, in one's opinion, anyway. Anyway, keep getting your thoughts into the live chat. Rocket saying this relegation battle is crazy. You have to win every game because if you don't, someone will take advantage every time. Phil is saying maybe a football cliche, but clean sheets keep teams up. A clean sheet at home against a decent team is a big achievement. Shame we didn't score, of course. It does give me a little bit of hope. You know, I said to a subscriber yesterday that, you know, we play Villa soon and we still scored 2 against them at home. The problem was we conceded 3, but our defence has improved a lot since then. And our attack, arguably, our attack has improved as well because of Somerville's in form now, whereas he wasn't when we played Villa at the London Stadium. We've got Tate in the team now. Bowen's maybe dropped off a little bit, but I don't think he was in great form back then either. So I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. I'm hopeful that we might get something at Villa Park. I'm hopeful we might get something at Anfield as well. Speaking of Liverpool, we need them to do us a favour. If Liverpool win today, I think we might look upon yesterday a little bit, not fondly, but with a little bit more sympathy, which is okay. We've cut the gap to 2 points. It's still a missed opportunity, but at least we're making progress. But if Nottingham Forest win, it goes to 5 points and it's really going to be doom and gloom, isn't it? I think the point, I think I've seen a lot of people say until we know what happens at Forest Liverpool, we don't know if that's a good point or not. It's going to hinge on that game. And I think it's fair. Major saying, I think these poor performances by Bowen could be a blessing in disguise. If we go down, other teams won't pay big money, we would expect, so we might stay with us and be fantastic in the Championship. Or teams will come in and drive the price down. Swings and roundabouts. Barry saying, my panels have been a monster lately, much improved. Whereas Jake saying we need to relax in front of goal. We're panicking when we get it in. That said, on another day, we could have won. It just didn't fall for us, and the referee didn't help either. Daniel saying we're unlucky that we played 2 of the form teams in the league in our last 3 games. But yesterday, when they're reeling off Bournemouth subs, was a sad indictment of our lack of squad. Costa saying, while it's refreshing our upturn in form, ultimately it's the Christmas period that killed us. For those only listening, I am nodding. Losing too many points from winning positions. Time is fast running out, unfortunately, for us. Nick saying our bench is a travesty and insult for Premier League team. It is utterly shameful that the poxy owner has allowed a squad to be reduced to what it is right now. It's beyond shameful. Dean saying Bowen is sitting very deep. Looks like he's worried about the right side of defence. Wan-Bissaka is frequently further forward. Fremer saying Bowen compensates his lack of pace and leadership with fight and spirit. He throws himself into tackles all the time. Most wingers would not give him much, and I agree with that. I don't think there's anything unfair or incorrect Fremer has said there, in my opinion. Caudle saying everyone should stop moaning about the squad and missing Pablo. Wilson coming on at half-time. Adama for Bowen could have made a difference. Bournemouth are good, but not great. Again, I'm going to push back, Caudle. People can moan about what they want, as can you. You think you can moan that you think Wilson should have come on at half-time and Adama could have come on for Bowen. You're well within your right. And I would defend anyone that says, tell Caudle, stop moaning about Adama not coming on and Wilson not coming on at half-time. I would say, stop it. It's Caudle's opinion. Please just... I don't mind people disagreeing. I don't mind it at all. It's a good thing. Discussion, debate is a really good thing. What I really get uncomfortable with is people telling other people to stop thinking certain things, especially when they go on to express their own opinion as well. Just respect each other's opinions as much as you can, please. You're allowed to disagree. It's normal. But telling people to stop thinking things, I don't know. I'm very uncomfortable with that. Lloyd saying, I feel bad for Bowen. Think all the changing positions has affected him. I would like to see him and Tati up top while Pablo's there. I wouldn't be against that. I would not be against that. I think that's something different. What can we do? The issue with that, Lloyd, is Adama's crap at tracking back. Adama defensively is terrible. So who do you put over on that right-hand side? Do you do something wild? Do you put Kyle Walker-Peters on there as a right winger? It feels a bit crazy, but is that what you do? And then you get Bowen next to Tate instead of Wilson. And then you can say to Somerville, look, push up a little bit more. You say to a midfield, look, Souček and Fernandez and Juve, you're just going to be a bit careful because Somerville's going to go up a little bit, but we've got a defensive player on the right-hand side. At least you would lock down our right side defensively. Is that what you do? It sounds crazy. I think I'd rather see Kyle Walker-Peters and Adama Traore because at least Walker-Peters will get back and do the defensive work. And I think he's quite good going forward, Walker-Peters, in terms of dribbling and passing and crossing. Not so much the shooting or the creativity aspect. He's not a winger. He's a fullback. But Adama would just... the left back would have a field day against us. And I think that's why Nuno might not do what you're wanting to see. Lloyd, I think he's safety first. I think he would think, right, if I do that, my defensively, we're going to get weaker moving Jarrod Bowen. I think Bowen's almost his own worst enemy here. He's too good defensively for Nuno to move him. Ricky's saying, I'm starting to believe that our players are just 10% not good enough. Players are 6, 7 out of 10 when we need 8 or 9s, and that's why I fear for relegation. Brian saying we expect too much from Bowen. He flows his arse off for the club and gets nothing but grief. Let's be honest, who would blame him? I disagree with the nothing but grief. I've seen some people that I feel like they've gone too far. I appreciate what I've just said about opinions and stuff. I've seen some people go a bit too far, maybe, but I think it was just an emotional reaction to the frustration of not winning the game yesterday. But I think Bowen actually gets a lot of credit and a lot of sympathy and a lot of patience from the fan base, and I think he deserves it as well. I think he's earned it. Corky's saying we fought really hard yesterday to a man, come a long way since the start of the season under Potter. Disastre, signing of the season, incredible. Poor summer transfer business, cost us. Yeah, I've enjoyed the last, keep saying it, I've enjoyed the last month. I enjoyed yesterday. I know a lot of people feel like we sat back and took the point and stuff. I didn't see it like that. I thought we were trying to win the game. It's just we put Wilson on for a midfielder, and that was it. Maybe could have brought a Adama on for Bowen, but I'll be honest with you, even though Bowen didn't play well yesterday, I still have more hope of an underperforming Bowen doing something than I do a fully fit, fresh Adama Traore. She was saying, I wonder if Dyer is putting Bowen under more pressure than he needs to. That said, he's lost a yard of pace, and a beaming smile. Nick saying, can we get a Grace update? She's good, thank you. Walking, learning to climb the stairs, causing trouble. But she's good, thank you, Nick. She's a pain in the arse, but a good pain in the arse. Her personality is shining, that's for sure. Alan saying, at what point of the year do you ban your missus from having the heating on? To be fair, if we didn't have Grace, it would be awful already, in my opinion, but it's one of them. It's like the trump card, the ace card. She says, Grace is cold. I've got no comeback to that. I'll look at her, and you can put extra clothes on, but it doesn't matter what you do. The socks come off. Doesn't matter what you do with a 1-year-old. The socks come off one way or another. You give her more. You give her bigger socks, pull them higher. They still come off. So she's going around barefooted, and it's just so because we've got a 1-year-old. I'll lose the argument, but I'll be honest with you, Alan, if we didn't have her, it would rarely be on. Scotty saying, what do we think of Magassa? I'll open this up to everyone in the live chat, please. If you don't mind, would you all mind just popping in what you thought about Magassa? Please use the word Magassa in your comment, though, so I know who you're speaking about. And it'd be interesting to see what everyone thinks. And I'll give you my opinion towards the end of the show, Scotty, if you don't mind. Toothy saying Wan-Bissaka doesn't track back and it really annoys him. Ryan enjoyed Team Unite football. He thought it was really good. Thank you. I was a bit wary of doing it. I feel like a fraud doing it, but it was something I wanted to discuss. I enjoyed doing it, though. Hasib saying, I don't understand the Bowen criticism. He's been our best player for many seasons. He's probably just knackered. You're allowed to think that about him just being knackered. I think it's just about yesterday, Hasib. It's just yesterday. I think people feel yesterday he was terrible and he's not been in great form. I think people feel like he's not been in great form either. And we're looking at the team, and obviously you're trying to squeeze everything out of the team at the minute, aren't you? And I think there's the general reaction I've seen from yesterday's game and the last few games is that Manson's doing all right. The fullbacks are doing fine. The centre-backs are doing well. Fernandez is playing really well. Somerville's fantastic. Tati's doing okay. There's question marks. There's a discussion around Souček again, but that's never going to go away. So I think it's, on to Bowen now. And I think it's people are looking for reasons that we're going to stay up, and naturally you look towards your captain, and naturally you look towards your best goal threat, and naturally you look towards your best player. Bowen's all three of those things. I think he gets extra attention. Like I said, I think most people, majority, and I mean like over 90% of the comments I've read regarding Bowen, positive or negative, have been really fair. Really fair. There are some that I feel I read and thought, oh, that's just too far. That's just too far. But it's their opinions. And I think everyone's discussion around him, it's warranted. I think it's warranted. Eugene, I don't know why I call you Eugene. It doesn't say Eugene. Huge says, badly feel we missed a great opportunity not going in for Raheem Sterling. Adama is a complete waste. India saying, I think Bowen's done all right. Just a mid-performance from him, really. Richard remembers when we went down on 42 points and Bolton just kept on picking up draws, even though we were winning games. They do add up. If we can get a win somewhere, it becomes a good point. But you've got to follow up with that win. Ian's asking if there's an update about Brady. I'll do that video tomorrow. I'll do that video. The reason I've left it alone, I'll be honest with you, I got told on Thursday about Brady going. And obviously got told, don't tell anyone. So I didn't say a peep. And it came out via other means. But I feel conflicted, almost like I'm not allowed to discuss it because someone's told me, shut up. Anyway. Nick saying, what are those tempting shirts? I showed them on the watch along, Nick. The build-up show yesterday. There's if 10 people want me to quickly show them, I'll show them at the end. Richard saying, is the power expensive in the UK? Do you need a heat pump? Yeah, it's very expensive in the UK, Richard. Very, very expensive. Yeah, I can't speak for everyone. To be fair, when we were in the rented house, it wasn't too bad. It was like £150 a month, and I thought that was okay. But where we are now, we had the bill in for January a couple of weeks ago, and it was over 200. It was 250 something pounds for the month. Just about had a heart attack. Anyway, Magassa time. Paul thinks Magassa was solid with reading of the game. Effort is there, decent engine when he's used to the pace. I think he's going to be a keeper, as in we'll keep him around, for want of a better phrase. Jack saying, impressed with Magassa, show good energy, tidy passing, won some good tackles. Shame his shooting is awful. His shooting is awful, isn't it? Jake saying, Magassa, raw, but feel he will get a lot better with time. He does sometimes not follow his man. Did it yesterday, but recovered with a wonderful tackle. An upgrade on James Ward-Prowse. Brian saying, if we survive, what changes next season? Unless there is a root and branch change, we will be back in this position with a crap transfer window and the usual sell before we buy. Dill saying, Magassa is our second best midfielder at the team. It shows how awful our recruitment is, but there's a player in there who needs confidence. His first season in the Premier League, and we're writing him off. I haven't seen anyone write him off. I know everyone reads and listens to different things and different people, and I'm in a cocoon here because I don't branch out that much. I listen to certain different YouTube channels and podcasts, but I haven't seen anyone write Magassa off personally. But again, like I said, I appreciate you've maybe read and listened to different people, and they have. Dean saying, Magassa works hard and defensively is superb, seems to have lost confidence and lacks finishing. Works better when Potts is next to him. Paul thinks he shows lots of potential, good engine, reads the game, and surprisingly has a good range of passing and likes a tackle. Ruben thought Saka looked good as a number 10. I think Bowen might benefit from something different. Every defender knows he's slow and will cut in on his left, and I think he's wasted on the wing. Lou saying, I don't think the week break done Bowen and Fernandes that well as they got out of the rhythm. Hopefully they will be back on it next week. Remember, Bowen scored against Chelsea and assisted against Man United. Yeah. Agree. Feta saying Magassa's good energy and puts himself about. And Brian saying can't bring on Adama for Bowen because we would get destroyed down the left hand side. I think so as well. I think so too. For those talking about Brady, I will do a video about the Brady thing tomorrow. Yesterday when I woke up, it was match day, and I wanted to discuss the game because it was match day. And then today I like doing this live show. So it's either do the Brady video today and don't do a live show. I actually quite enjoyed them. I look forward to them. I look forward to interacting with the subscribers. That's why myself and Gonzo enjoy the build-up show. We enjoy doing Cup of Tea again now, which we will be doing this week as well. Unsure when. I've sent my availability to Gonzo, and it's up to him to pick when we're going to do it. So we'll have a cup of tea at some point. Alex saying not a chance. Alex, who caught me yesterday, he went fishing and I nibbled. He got me. So it's still 1-0 Alex. But Alex said not a chance Fernandes will be here next season, regardless if we stay up. We're potless. He's probably the only player who can command a large fee. I'd be disappointed to see him go. I'd be very disappointed. I'm a big fan. Richard saying, I think a heat pump, if you run it constantly, pays it back in 2-3 years because it's more efficient. Our house in Norway goes down to 8 degrees inside when it's cold, and it's expensive to heat pumps. I don't know anything about stuff like that, if I'm honest with you. I have none. I don't know anything about stuff. Nick saying we would bring Tadibo back for the Liverpool game. Play 3-4-3. No, I'd stick with what we're doing. I'd stick with the 4-3-3. I like it. I think if you do that, I think you'd get outnumbered in midfield. I think we'd get overrun. And I think it would be giving Szoboszlai space to hit it from distance. And that's something I wouldn't want to do. I think I'd stick with the 4-3-3 formation personally. I don't know if I'd make any changes. There's, like I said, there's little changes we could make. So I think I'd just leave it as it is. But I don't know. I haven't thought loads about it, Nick. I think 3-4-3 might work if we've got something to hold on to, but I don't want to be holding on to a 0-0, even against Liverpool. Johnson saying, I think Bowen's yard of pace and is struggling to create that yard of pace to get his shot, yard of space, get his shot off. He was so effective with the Sunderland. He also really benefited from Antonio. In my opinion, Bowen really benefited from having Antonio just causing a little bit of carnage. And I think Bowen was benefiting from Pablo and Tate up front. They were occupying defence and there was a bit of room in behind them. Whereas when there's just Tate, I think it's easier for a centre-back, if he needs to jump out, block the space, don't let him cut inside and force him down on the right. Because I thought he was putting a lot of crosses in with his right foot, Bowen. You know, Tate had his overhead kick with one of the crosses, but I'd rather see him cutting in with his left foot, personally. James saying, why do some take into account context of opposition form coming into the game, but not the game itself? Bournemouth were below average yesterday and were there for the taking. Irons TV saying if we get relegated, is 100% at fault. After 5 minutes, he never tried to win that game. I assume he's speaking about Nuno. Paul saying, Panos and Disasi are excellent together. Matt saying, overall, it was a poor game and lack quality. Of course, you take form into a game. And you have to, and I bet you did when we're losing week in, week out. Liam saying, if we keep, I think he's saying you do. I think, Matt, I think he's saying you do take form into it, but you also take the context of the game. That's my interpretation of James's comment. Liam saying, if we keep remotely close to our current form over the next couple of months, we will have a huge chance of staying up. Would have been great to win, but not a clean sheet, a point, and we're in good form. 1 defeat in 8, it's good form. 1 defeat in 8 is really good form. It includes a couple of FA Cup games against lower league opposition, but even if you remove them, it's 1 defeat in 6. It's good. And that defeat was against Chelsea when we were 2-0 up at halftime, and we should have gone on to get, well, we should have went and got 3 points, but minimum a point. But like I did on Team Night Football, I think they were just tactically better than us in the second half, and just Nuno got it wrong. And since that game, Nuno hasn't put on a centre-back. Nuno has not put on a centre-back and gone to 5 at the back. When he's done his changes, he's changed the midfield from midfielder for midfielder. Yesterday, Magassa was injured. He comes off, Kante goes on. 0-0. And this is why I think Nuno tried to win the game. In my opinion, I thought Nuno tried to get it. He took Souček off and put Wilson on. It wasn't enough. We didn't create enough. Wilson could maybe have done a bit better with his chance. I thought it was in when he first hit it. Looking at it, it's not close to the post, but in my eyes, that's Nuno's way of trying to win the game. And when you look at the bench, I don't know what else he could have done, really. I know some would say a dammer for Bowen, but like I said previously, you're going to have to forgive me for having little desire to want to see that change. There wasn't anyone there. Irons TV saying we're relying on other teams falling off a cliff because we're getting nothing against Liverpool, City, and possibly Villa. Keith saying Bowen can be forgiven for a lack of form. Carried his team for a number of years. That was never going to continue. Hasib saying it's down to Paco. Paul saying Nuno won't put on a defender. Paco's scaring him, and that's okay. I think if it is down to Paco, that's okay. I like seeing managers using a coaching team, and having someone a bit different to you in your coaching team is important. You just fill up your coaching team with yes men who have the same philosophy and ideas as you. You're only going to play one way, and it's going to cause problems. I think it's important to have someone that's going to challenge you, someone that's going to be a bit different, but also respects you. So when you make that final decision, you go, okay. And I think Paco done that. He done his interview. He doesn't mind a chat, does he, Paco? He's done a few interviews since coming to West Ham. And he makes it very clear, disagreed, but Nuno's the boss, and we work well together. And I quite like it. I like what Paco's been saying publicly. It does feel like they are a team, those two. And I think that's important. And it's maybe part of the reason I feel relatively positive. Anyway, right then, I'm going to love you and leave you because, well, we're away to the park. We get Grace, get the trike in the car, get down to the park and enjoy the sunshine. Hopefully it's still sunny. Looks like it's still sunny. And then we'll have some lunch, watch the Sheffield derby, then watch the Nottingham Forest game. And then we've got North London derby. I can't believe we've got to support Arsenal again today. Well, I'm not supporting Arsenal. I'm supporting Spurs losing. So don't care who wins the Sheffield. Actually, I do. I want Sheffield Wednesday to win. So come on, Sheffield Wednesday. Come on, Wolves. Come on, Liverpool. Come on, Arsenal. Sheffield Wednesday one doesn't impact us. It's just a football thing, an anti-Sheffield United thing. But the other three, hopefully results go in our favour today. Yesterday, they didn't really go in our favour. So hopefully today they can. And if Liverpool can win, I think some may feel a little bit better about the point yesterday. I don't know how I'll feel. I don't know. I'll need Liverpool to win first before I can tell you if I feel better about it or not. I suspect not. But certainly if Liverpool get beat, Nottingham Forest win, I think I'll feel worse. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you sticking with the channel. Please do drop a like on the video before you disappear by clicking the thumbs up button. It's going to Hammers Chat. And I'll catch up with you tomorrow where we will have a chat regarding Cannon Beatty. I'll see you then.